That feel good? Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, breathe into your heart, exhale through your mouth, okay? Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. See, I know who you are, because when I know who I am, I know who you are. And I also know we're different. We're the same and different. See, people don't get that. They'll get a half-truth. Oh, we're all the same. No, no, no. Or we're all different. No, no, no. We're all same and different and beyond. These are words. These are words. Words cannot define you, you see. Not at all. So anyway, my topic is generating good fortune. See, generating good fortune. And good fortune is natural. Being lucky is natural, you see, because when you're in tune with yourself and nature and the divine, you are operating on the divine realm, the transcendental spiritual realm, you see. And the key to our ever-increasing good fortune is to eliminate misfortune. And what causes misfortune is a jealous mind. And the mind is jealous, you see. And when you say you have a jealous God, it can't be the divine, because why would the divine ever be jealous? Because we don't compete and we have no jealousy, you see. Because, you see, I was going to do a talk, which I will later, but life's not fair. Because everyone's, oh, we're going to make it fair. We're going to make it equal for everybody, and everybody's the same and nobody's different. Well, at one level, true, but that's a partial truth. That's not a total truth. And you're also different. And your consciousness is what's manifesting. And if I have a consciousness of prosperity, but the other person has a prosperity of, has a consciousness of lack and limitation, each of us is going to manifest our consciousness, you see. To me, prosperity means to go forth with enthusiasm to do what you want to be doing, you see. To be on your purpose and fulfilling your mission, you see. And to overcome misfortune, we have to look at what is causing misfortune when good fortune is natural. What is hijacking a person's good fortune? And that comes from the teaching of scarce supply. Comes from the teaching of you don't know, but somebody else does. It comes from the teaching you're not good enough and somebody else is better. You're better and someone else is worse. Because when we take a look at who we are, and you take a look at thread or a piece of yarn or thread and a weaving, there are many pieces of thread in the weaving, yet each thread is an individual thread. And it's still part of the whole or the weaving or the fabric. Each of us is part of the fabric of, we are life, the fabric called life, you might call it, who we are. And when we have a jealous mind, it's that sense of competition, that you've lost control, you're not the authority. Someone is challenging your belief system. Someone isn't bowing down to your greatness, perhaps. You know, whatever it is that's going on, the mind, I want you to know, is a very devious thing. Divine mind, if you need to have the word mind, but divine mind is you being conscious. And in my book, Live Your Bliss, which I highly recommend to get why bliss is so important, and bliss is a place of not thinking, but the place of being, the place of profound wisdom, the place of greatness. And why it's important to be in the bliss state is because in the bliss state, where you're not thinking, you don't have any mind programs operating. You don't have any layers of thoughts, thought forms, anything against you, anything limiting you, any hatred for someone else, any competition, and all of this. You see, divide and conquer is how we get controlled by anybody or anything. When you get divided from yourself, you stop trusting yourself because you believe you don't know, and you're afraid to make a mistake because other people will let you know you made a mistake because you haven't conformed to the group mindset or whatever it may be, the cultural mindset. And you know it's all mind and it's all thinking because everybody's thinking and everybody's got a mind and everybody's tormented by that mind. So people are always looking, how can I control my mind? Or how can I have peace and harmony? Or how can I have joy of being? Or how can I have loving relationships? Or how can I be able to do what I want to do in my experience, you see, and be who I am? And the only thing that's stopping any of us is ourselves. And that the concepts that we accept and believe that are running programs, we have even hidden programs that are running just like on a computer, even though we are not a computer. You have to understand it. The mind is a computer, that type of mind, because it is, it works on letters and numbers and zeros and ones and all that kind of a thing, because that's how a machine operates. You have to know the difference between a machine and you. You're not a machine, and your consciousness of who you are is not a machine, and you are more powerful than any artificial intelligence or any information technology, because it's information. You see, it's definable. And so the work that you do on yourself, you see, that work is what prospers you, that puts you into direct harmony with the divine. So how we increase our good fortune is to eliminate misfortune. And also misfortune is a judgment. To say that, oh, I failed. And when we notice that the divine is always present, even that which would appear to be the greatest misfortune could also become the greatest advantage. Because everything in this reality that we are viewing, that is being projected, is a state of consciousness, you see. All is mind. That's the first Hermetic axiom. And that Hermetic axiom is actually describing how this reality is set up. And when you know who you are not conforming to a reality. You are not conforming to a group. You're not conforming to a machine consciousness that's predictable, because you're spontaneous, okay? And to be really fortunate is that you are clear of any consciousness of misfortune, and that we rise above the words, but we're using words because we've all been trained with words and meanings and definitions, that you can also change those meanings and those definitions of the words that you're speaking, in order that whatever you're doing is empowering you and not depowering you and taking from who you are. So how you overcome misfortune and increase your good fortune is to know who you are and to eliminate the jealousy, the competition, the fear, the envy, the hostility towards others, and always afraid that you're not going to have enough. You see, it's the fear of death that is a big program. It's impossible for you to die because you are life itself. So there is an illusion of death and an illusion of birth, and there's an illusion of good fortune, and there's an illusion of misfortune, because it is the illusion of the concept, the conceptual, you see, the mental structure of perceiving life, perceiving who we are through these veils of beliefs. You see? So many. When you come to yourself then, and I remember years ago when I was building my ministry in San Diego and such, California, and before that. But if I was ever envious or jealous of another speaker or author, and yet people like that person and I'd have that person come and speak at my church and treat them royally, absolutely. To overcome my jealousy, that was a mind program of not enough and scarcity, you see. And that whole scarcity program is set up that you don't have enough, you'll never have enough, because you can't be enough, because you're not good enough, and whatever you have is never good enough, because you got to get more and got to be different, got to get better, because everybody else has got it, so you got to have it too. So you aren't really, you see, immersed in who you are, because we're so busy trying to be what we think other people want us to be, you see. And this competition and jealousy thing becomes so nasty and so vicious, and who it hurts is the one with the jealous mind, because that jealous mind is saying and telling you lies that you can't do that yourself. And at the same time, not to build your life based on the beliefs and the lifestyle and of how the masses of people are living, huge groups of people, but they're all individuals. And the work that we each must do, need to do, essential, is on liberating ourselves, you see. Because you can tell something's wrong. What's going on in this? What's something? And then it's popular, it's the way it is, and it's in the media, and it's all. This isn't us, you see. And when you take yourself back, that's where you do your work. Then your world, your reality, is always abundant. Abundant in love and joy, abundant in creativity, in knowledge, in knowing of yourself. Because you're not controlled by the fear of competition. Or they'll take what I... See, that's what goes on in this world. See? And when you're in the divine world, it doesn't matter what anybody else is going through at that level. You are operating from your true self. And in every moment, you will always know what to do that is in harmony, cosmically, divinely, and in our day-to-day lives. And you're not going to one day die to then go with God. You're not going to die and then to blah, blah. You're an eternal being. And because right now, right where you are, right in this is where you are, to know how important and valuable you are to you and to everyone. For when you own who you are, you see, you are joyful for the good fortune of others, in the sense of truly who they really are and being who they are. Because you're always endeavoring for the welfare of all, humans and animals, you see, because that's who you are. And So as we do this, then our good fortune, then, instead of being drained through a jealous mind, we have a divine mind that sees the truth.